Very few things evoke the essence of summer like an ice-cold slice of watermelon. And my watermelon beverage coasters are one of my favorite sets to create when the summer warms up. And they look so pretty on a table that's set for breakfast or brunch. So if you want to see how I crafted this one-of-a-kind beverage coaster set, stay tuned. Hello, gentle people. If this is your first time visiting my channel, or you're a returning subscriber, welcome to the Sparrow Art Vibes video tutorial. I hope that you'll find something here that inspires you to create your own beautiful pieces. I'm Hazel, a retired educator turned resin artist and entrepreneur. Every week I share the creation process of the products that are available in my Etsy shop, and I'm always adding new items. As always, if you like what you see but prefer not to make it yourself, please feel free to purchase it at Sparrow Art Vibes shop on Etsy. Also, if my video inspires you, please like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. So let's get started on this exciting summertime project. Okay, gentle people, let's take a look at the materials that we need to create our summertime watermelon coasters. So we start with our round silicone coaster molds, and I have 4 right here. And we will be using the EnviroTex Lite Resin Part A, and EnviroTex Lite Hardener Part B. We are going to need 1 large and 1 small measuring cup. We're going to need 2 small paper cups, large stir stick, 2 small stir sticks, of course our nitro gloves, and then for mica powders, we are going to be using the Eye Candy Imperial Jade. That will be for the watermelon rind. We are going to be using the Saya Porcelain White. Again, Saya containers never have labels. Oops, they don't come with labels. And then for the flesh of the watermelon, we are going to be using the Eye Candy Baku Red. And to give that just a little bit of jazz, I'm going to be adding some red glitter. To get our watermelon seeds, we're going to be using some paint pens. And so I have this set there, and then this is a glitter set of paint pens, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, so I'm putting them both there. And I think that's it. Alrighty. I always remind everyone to follow the manufacturer's instructions. I am using EnviroTex Lite, the pour-on high gloss epoxy, and their directions tell us to do a 1-to-1 mixing ratio when they say equal amounts of side A and side B. And then they also tell us after we pour it to mix for 2 full minutes, pour into another container, and then mix for another 2 minutes. I do not do the double pour. I simply pour equal amounts into my measuring cup, and then I mix for 4 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, you may not be able to tell, but my measuring cup is marked 20 and 40. Basically, I use 10 milliliters of resin on my rims when I'm coloring the rims separately. So we need 20 milliliters. of the Part B hardener. And 20 milliliters of the Part A resin. And again, we're using a mixing time of 4 minutes. So I'm going to turn on my timer. Okay, so we are going to pour our resin into this cup. And we are adding our Imperial Jade. And again, this is to go in the rim, so it represents the rind of the watermelon. Okay, so now we can pour. So I simply squeeze my cup to make a spout. And then I just go back and add a little more where it looks like it needs to be raised some. All right. And then what we do is just take the heat gun to pop the air bubbles. And we are simply going to cover these and allow them to set for about an hour. Okay, I am back. We're going to take the cover off of this. And yeah, we've got our rind. And I'm just taking those little spots, those little resin drips off of there and there. All right. And so now what we need to do is mix up 200 milliliters, because this was 40 and we need 240 total. So we need 200 milliliters. Our measuring cup is marked. So we are going to do 100 milliliters of the Part B hardener. ,100 milliliters of the Part A resin. And of course we know we have that 4 minutes to mix, so we'll set our timer on 4. Hit start. And then we will mix this for 4 minutes. So now we are going to pour 40 milliliters of this into this cup. A little bit more, 60 I guess, I don't know, 40, 60. And we are going to add our porcelain white to this and mix. Oh, I need the other little cup. I need the other little cup. Alright, and so now we're going to add our porcelain white. And of course the white represents the rind. I'm going to set that there for a minute. And then this is our flesh. And I'm going to mix right in this measuring cup, which is something I normally don't do. But I don't have a large enough paper cup for this. So we are going to put some red in here. And then don't forget we have our little red glitter. And again, this is not to make it have bling per se, but to just give it a little bit of excitement. Alright, and so now what we're going to do is pour our white ring, and then we'll pour our red in the middle. So again, making my little spout. Then get our red right in the middle there. Get our rind on here. Alright, and now we're going to go back with what white we have left and add a little more white to some of these. This one needs a little more. So now we're going to hit this with the heat gun to pop any air bubbles. Okay, so now we're going to just cover these and allow them to cure overnight. All right, gentle people. This is the part that we always like, where we take the cover off. And then we unmold these to see what we have. So remember, we poured the green rim, then we added the white for the rind, the green for the skin, then we added the white, and then we poured the red right in the center. So let's see what these actually look like. Oh, that works. There you go, that works. That would be one. It's amazing, that's a lot of white, and it looked like a little bit of white when the red started spreading. And again, we always talk about what it looks like on the back side versus what it looks like on the front side. Two almost like, they don't look like they're related. All right, so let's turn that one over. There you go. I have a little more white than I anticipated, but that's okay. I mean, in nature, nothing is exactly the same. There, voila. And I don't know if the camera can capture the little bit of shimmer that's in that flesh in the red part, but I put that glitter in there, and it's got a nice little, in fact, it kind of went over into the white a little bit. All right, let's do the last one. And again, there you go. So now what we need to do is paint the seeds on here. Okay, so I have these glitter paint pens. There's one in black. And then I have just the multi-surface paint pens. And so let's see which one I like the best. Let's see which one I think looks the nicest. So that's the regular one. So we're looking to see if I like I like the glitter seed a little bit better. Yeah, I like the glitter seed better. So we are going to use the one with the glitter and some alcohol to get that off of there. Alright, so now we're just going to paint our seeds on here. And so I always do them in quarters. And again, they don't have to, in nature the seeds are not perfectly shaped. So if you're looking like, oh, my seeds are not exactly the same, that's okay. Nor do they actually have real points on the ends. The ends of these are actually, they're round, they're not really pointed. So we're going to get our seeds in here. So there you go. And then when I am holding this up, I'm looking through the seeds to make sure that they're solid all the way, because when you use these markers, sometimes you miss a spot when you're drawing. And if I hold it up, I can see. Plus I can see better the shapes of these. I'm surprised how much white actually didn't move. All the red that I poured in, that white did not move much. Okay, so our seeds are done. Ooh, oh gosh. And so now we need to just seal these. So we are going to mix 40 milliliters, the same as we did for the rim. So that's our Part B hardener, 20 milliliters. Oh, what did I just say? Yeah. Forget what what I was thinking. And 20 of our Part A resin. And we know that we have a 4-minute mix. And these are permanent, let me say, these are permanent markers. But what I had happen one time, I don't know what I was doing. I spilled something. And so I took some Windex to wipe, because it was sugary, to wipe it off, and the Windex wiped off my seeds. And that's when I realized I need to seal these so that they're not accessible. Alright, so all we need to do is just pour some of this into the center of each of these. And Because I work with a lot of water slide paper, I tend to not take anything and move this. I tend to just let this roll to spread evenly because I never want to scratch my artwork. Alright, so that one's done. And of course, resin is self-leveling. And then this also gives these a nice pretty finish. Okay, so let's hit this with the heat gun to get rid of any air bubbles. Okay, so all we do is cover these, and in a couple of hours come back, we'll sand the edges, add the rubber bumps, and these will be done. Nice juicy slices of watermelon. I am back. We need to take the cover off of this. And then these we sealed that's pretty. We sealed the seeds inside, so we just need to run the Dremel around this, varnish those edges, and get some rubber bumps on here. And we are done. I don't know if in the last video I showed you this. Somebody suggested I use a deburring tool, and I already had one. So let me just show you how this works instead of using the Dremel. And you basically are shaving that edge off instead of sanding it. You're shaving it off. And that works fine. I use that. I used to sand with a sanding block. Then a woodworking guy turned me on to using a deburring tool. And he said that plumbers use it when they cut pipe, so the edge of the pipe isn't sharp. And I guess doing this, it saves you having to, well, no, because I still have to dust this stuff up. I was going to say saves you having to dust the plaster, the resin dust, but you're still going to have to dust this up. And I still have to varnish the edges. And we have our Deco Art Gloss Varnish. Give it a good shake. Again, with such a small amount, I don't even bother putting this in a container. I just put the brush up here. Oops, that's a little bit too much. Just run that along that edge there. That's one. All right. 3M rubber bumps. 3M rubber bumps, they are self-adhesive, they are clear, and they are non-skid. So we put 4 of these on each coaster. And you want them 1/4 of an inch from the edge, that way these coasters can stack. Again, stay away from cork. Cork dries out, it gets brittle, it starts to break up, leaving dust all over your furniture, and if it ever gets wet, it starts to get moldy and get mildew on it. You get any kind of thing, any sugar on it, it'll start to smell. You need sugary drinks. Okay, so there are our watermelon coasters. Done!